How to move to Brazil legally, the complete 2026 guide for foreigners. Move to Brazil legally requires choosing the right visa category, gathering apostille documentation, and registering with Brazil federal authorities within established deadline. So this video walks through every legal pathway available to foreigners relocating to Brazil legally. So my name is Iure and I'm Brazilian lawyer, and I have 20 years of experience helping foreign clients to invest in Brazil. Why Brazil has become one of the most searched relocation destinations. So moving to Brazil legally is not a single process. It's decision important. This visa, you need to decide with category, you need to select how minimum you need to stay, your tax resident trigger date, and your path to permanent residency. And if it works, you can even ask for Brazilian citizenship. Let's talk about the different steps that you need to know. First step, identify which visa category fits to your profile. Okay, according to Brazilian immigration law, you have different types of visa. So I start with first type of visa is retirement visa, and available to anyone regardless of age who can prove. So you need to prove a minimum monthly income. This minimum income is $2,000, okay, per month. That is necessary to have a proof that this amount can be transferred to Brazilian bank account. So it's that can fit if you are North American, European with pension, social security, or passive investment income. Okay, you can live in Brazil during your visa, retirement visa. The second possibility is invest. So investor visa, the Viper. Viper can be subtract in two types. The first type is real estate investment. So it's necessary to invest at least 1 million reais, and can be less, so 700,000 reais if you buy a property in northeast of Brazil. So 1 million reais if you buy apartment or a house, at least of 1 million reais if you buy São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, or can be less, 700,000 reais, 30% of less expensive if you buy, for example, northeast of Brazil, Fortaleza, Rio Grande do Norte, Praia da Pipa. The other possibility is traditional investment visa. If you buy or open a company in Brazil, and this company you invest at least 500,000 reais. You need to create jobs in Brazil. The second type of investment visa. And this investment visa can be less, your investment can be less, depends on the type of investment. If you consider is IT company, you can invest less. So another type of investment or another type of visa is a digital nomad visa. Okay, it's a new type of visa. So it's specified for remote workers employed or contracted to foreign companies. Okay, it's necessary to show the proof of employment, remote employment, or the service contract. Okay, and you need to have to show that you have a monthly income at least $1,500 per month, or you have funds available at least $18,000. Okay, so this visa is for 1 year. You can renew for 1 year. I think it's really interesting if you want to start your life in Brazil. So Americans, Europeans who want to test this life in Brazil before think about a long-term category. Another possibility is family reunification visa. So available for spouse, civil partners, okay, can be civil partners the same or not sex, okay. So it's possible to, if you have a child in Brazil, if your wife is in Brazil or your father is in Brazil, it's possible to apply for a visa, okay. Then another possibility, if you find a work in Brazil, so you can apply for work visa, okay. In this case, you need to have a contact with a Brazilian company, a Brazilian employer that help you in this kind of visa, okay. This visa have a 2 years of term, but you can, after 2 years, if you still an employee of Brazilian company, can ask for permanent visa. Of course, you have another type of visa for Mercosur residency agreement, okay. The states or the countries that make part of Mercosur, it's possible to live in Brazil. Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, it's possible, for example, the easy process to get residency in Brazil, okay. After you choose the type of visa that you want to apply, the second step is apostille your documents before you travel to Brazil. It's really important, because the most problem that I can see for my clients who it's possible now to apply to a visa, okay, the temporary visa, permanent visa from here in Brazil, but it's necessary to apostille the documentation in advance. So it's necessary to get a birth certificate, for example, the marriage certificate, or the criminal background already certified copy, and most important, apostille. In this process, you need to do outside, you need to do where you get this documentation. Another important thing, the criminal background check, okay, you need to think that this document must be issued within at least 90 days, okay, must have at least 90 days of duration. If more than that, you need to ask another one. Of course, think about proof of income investment, okay, bank statement, pension letters, investment contract, opening a company in Brazil, and all documents. Of course, all foreign documents must be legalized, and think all foreign documents must be carry an apostille on a convention, okay. So if you have a foreign document, think that you need to get this foreign document and need to apostille before arrive in Brazil. And after you arrive in Brazil, all foreign documents drafted in foreign language, you need to using a translator, okay. In this translator, the sworn translator must be registered in Brazil. Sometimes I have clients who do this translator by a foreign translator, not registered in Brazil. In this case, it's not possible, and the Brazilian authority will not accept it, okay. So third step, apply for a visa or apply for residency authorization. Now you can apply, most of the case, apply from Brazil or from abroad. If you apply from abroad, the Brazil consulate or Brazil embassy must pass by this entity, okay. But for example, in a retirement visa or a digital nomad, if you want, so investment visa, you can be in Brazil and apply for a visa. It's not a problem, okay. But in different case, if you need a visa to arrive in Brazil as a visitor, or if you want to be holidays, okay. For example, if you US citizen, you need a visa to arrive in Brazil, okay. To avoid this problem, you can apply your visa, your permanent visa or permanent residency from abroad. In any case, depends on the type. First, you need to apply. After you get your visa in Brazilian embassy, and then you can travel to Brazil. After travel to Brazil, you need to pass to federal police. In this route, formerly called autorização de residência, is processed through the federal police own system, okay? Own system. So it's necessary to federal police, go to federal police to get your visa, to get your ID. The step 5, it's mandatory for different type of visa. Get your CPF, that means your tax ID. Tax ID is not necessary to get a visa, but it's necessary, for example, to open a company in Brazil, to open a bank account in Brazil, to buy a real estate. So if you want to apply real estate investment or investment visa, for example, you need to get a CPF. CPF is necessary. So for those cases, for example, you can apply for CPF in Brazil if you are here, or you can apply from abroad. In this case, have a different kind of procedure to follow, to respect. And I have another video explaining how it's work, how you can get the CPF. Something really important is the tax residency. So tax resident trap, nobody warns you about that. This is a part of where having international tax background matters, because it's the step most important, I think, from my point of view, because can help it, can cause you money, because it's necessary to move to Brazil and understand how it's work in Brazilian tax or Brazilian income tax. It's important to know, under Brazilian tax law, you become a Brazilian tax resident on these triggers, okay? Let's start with the first. The date you obtain the permanent visa, first one. The 184th day, consecutive or not, your physical presence in Brazil within any 12 months period, okay? It's another point. The date you register with the federal police for certain temporary visa, okay? You consider as a tax residency or tax residence. As soon as you become tax residency in Brazil, you are submit to worldwide income. That means not just Brazil search income. That include foreign pension, foreign rental income, foreign capital gains, everything that you receive abroad can be taxed by Brazilian tax administration, by Brazilian law. Okay, so important to see and important to follow those tax rules. Since you become a tax resident, you need to follow the ancillary and submit to ancillary declaration. So it's necessary to submit every year to tax return. It's important, for example, if you have $1 million abroad of assets, it's necessary to submit another type of declaration, is for central bank declaration, okay? So it's important to know all this impact of a tax life when you become a tax resident, and that means that depends of the type of your visa, you become a tax resident, okay? So how long does the full process takes? I think you need to take in account 3 or 6 months, okay, from initial visa application to get your CRM card in your hand, okay, assuming documents are properly apostille and translated from the outset. Okay? Think about this period, 3 or 6 months to get everything in accordance to Brazilian law and get your Brazilian ID number, okay? So I think we can pass through the different types of obstacles and things that you need to know, okay? And I think it's necessary to, every relocation case is different. So it depends on nationality, income source that you have, family structure, and long-term tax planning goals, okay? If you are American, European, South African, consider move to Brazil. The legal and tax architecture of your move should be designed before you book a flight, not after that, but think about your destination and the timeline and look to all different documentation that you have, and think about at least 3 or 6 months to start the process in Brazil. Okay, if you like this video, you can share, you can give a like, or if you have some doubts about this video, send us a message that I put my contact in this description. Okay, thank you very much and see you in the next video.